Welcome to our community. Susie Thomas visiting with you this morning. We've got 3 folks in here from all different places, and they're all come together to put together Miles for Kids. It's a 5K. Jordan Maddox is from Belden Village, Kiwanis. Liz Fatch from Pathway, Caring for Children, and Lyndon Thomas from CSRM. Is it Christian Sports and Recreation Ministries or Church Sports and Recreation Ministries? Help me, Lyndon.
It is Church and Sports Recreation Ministries.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to find out more about all these different organizations, but also about a very important event happening when? Let's start there.
Yes, so this is Jordan Maddox with Belden Village, Kiwanis, and we are putting on our 7th annual 5K fun run with the kids run as well, and that will be on May 13th. That's a Saturday. It's the day before Mother's Day, and the 5K starts at 9 a.m. Registration will be open at 7:30 up until 8:45, and then we have a free kids fun run for all children under the age of 12, starting at 8:30, and that will be about a third of a mile.
Okay, so the kids are not doing the 5K.
We've had some children as young as, I think we had a 10-year-old last year. So if
That's impressive.
Your parents are participating, we welcome any participants.
Okay, terrific. Or they could do the fun run for kids. And where is everyone running, Jordan?
Yeah, so all these activities, events will be held at Stark State University. The course will be at Kent State at Stark, and they will start at the Advanced Technology Center building, which is nice because we actually have indoor restrooms, and we'll have the registration indoors as well.
That's a great space. For those of us who have lived here a long time, that used to be our cross-countrying area. So you can run just on that campus, between the 2 campuses. Yes, nobody has to go out onto Frank Road at all.
Correct. Yep. The course is completely on the campus, and it'll be the Saturday after finals, so there won't be a lot of traffic at all, and we'll have plenty of road guards available as well.
Oh, that sounds fun. All right. Cost to participate?
Currently, the registration cost is $25 for the 5K participation. As I mentioned, the kids run is free. We do have some options for a $5 discount. So keep an eye out. If for any kind of emails, we'll also do some promotion on our Facebook group as well. So we will discuss that information later on, I'm sure.
Okay. Let's find out how we find you for all that. Is there a website address, or how do we get the Facebook? Do we just go to Facebook and then run a search for Kiwanis Miles for Kids or something like that? Would that
I think
help?
the easiest way is if you do search Miles for Kids, Kiwanis Miles for Kids, it's the only one that comes up for that. So that's probably the easiest one if you do it in Google or any of the search engines, and the Facebook page will be one of the first options that come up. Okay.
How did the 3 of you all get together? We've got Kiwanis, we've got Pathway, we've got CSRM. How did you all get together and say, let's do this together?
Yeah, so maybe I'll jump in here as well. So I am the race director. This is my 3rd year doing that. And the inception of the Miles for Kids actually started out as Miles for Moms. It started out the first year as just a walk event. Again, this is the 7th year, so that was 6 years ago. And for the first couple of years, it was an untimed event to raise money. Initially, it was one of our international projects through Kiwanis. The neonatal tetanus project is called Eliminate, and we raised several $1,000s over the first couple of years for that initiative. And then we began to realize the potential to kind of partner not only with international groups, but also local groups. So the last couple of years, we've been wanting to pair up with multiple charities to hit both those community aspects. And so 3 years ago, we outreached to Pathway, Caring for Children, and they have helped us immensely with getting the word out. And obviously, Liz will talk more about their impact over the last several decades here in the area and in the state as well. So we realize that there's avenues to kind of get involved both locally and nationally and internationally. And this will be our first year with Church Sports and Recreation Ministries. In the past, we've partnered with pregnancy support center as well. So we try to hit those aspects that are really helping communities. And last year we actually changed the name to Miles for Kids. Again, this is an event that was always kind of revolving around Mother's Day, and then we realized that the true focus was the children and families as a whole. So that's why we develop as a very family-friendly event, and we always want to keep that free kids fun run. So even if you don't want to run or walk the 5K, you can always bring the kids out. We'll have a bounce house there as well, and so come out, support. We do have sponsorship levels if running's not your thing, or if you don't want to register. So that goes anywhere from $10 to a supporter up to a gold level at $500, and we can give more of those details too. But they'll also be on the Facebook page as well.
Third one, you've got this down to a science now. How do you choose who you're going to work with? Do different organizations apply, or you just kind of keep feelers out for what's cool in the community, or how do you do that?
That's a great question. Yeah, we do have a sub-planning committee within the Kiwanis Club, and we also bring it to the club as a whole. And it's been pretty easy to determine the main players the last couple of years, so it hasn't been a huge application process. But we're always looking for those nonprofits out there that are making many advances in the family realm, and so we're always looking for more partners and seeing how we can help out in other ways as well.
Well, that is so cool. Let's get to know some of the people that are going to be, these folks won't be benefiting, but the organizations that they serve will be benefiting. Liz Fatch, let's talk with you. Pathway Caring for Children, really an awesome organization. They've been here on our community. Tell us a little bit about the impact that they've had on this community over the last several decades now.
Sure. So Pathway Caring for Children, we're a nonprofit foster and adoption agency, and over the last several years, we've opened it up to mental health counseling services as well to meet the needs of our children and families in the community. We were founded 44 years ago by Jim and Velma Bridges right here in Canton, and we have expanded our services to 10 counties in Northeast Ohio. So we are meeting the ever-growing and changing needs, and the Miles for Kids funds go to Trust Camp scholarships for our kids. So Trust Camp is a therapeutic adventure camp that we take about 50 teens and staff on, and it's week-long, overnight, and the changes that you see in our kids are pretty amazing. Staff look forward to it. It's exhausting, but getting kids out of an office environment and just kind of stretching them to their limits, you see a lot of breakthroughs happen.
I'm just very interested in the fact that you named it Trust Camp. That must be something that's a big issue with some of the children that you serve.
Sure. And it is also an acronym, so it stands for Teens Realizing and Understanding Selves Together. So building trusting relationships between therapists, case managers, and our kids is definitely the goal throughout the week.
You used a term a minute ago, ever-growing. The
Yes.
ever-growing needs. So that tells me that there's more and more need for your services now than before.
Right.
Any idea why, Liz?
There is definitely an opiate crisis right now in Northeast Ohio where children are abandoned by their parents. So kids in foster care needing caring and loving, trusting homes. Just also we serve the community as well. So the environment that kids are in school these days, the pressures, the stresses they face, this camp is also for them as well.
Mm-hmm. It does seem that the foster program is always looking for people willing to be foster families. And what does it take to foster a child? Who are you looking for to do that?
Yes, absolutely. There is always a need for foster parents, and it just takes a lot of patience. You can be single, you can be married. You can be working, you can be stay at home. It just takes someone who's willing to be there for that child and willing to look beyond any of the struggles that those children have gone through and to just see them through and to let them grow up to be successful adults.
Age groups that you work with are what?
We work through 0 months to 18 years old, so the whole range.
So there are still families needed to help newborns, infants,
Yes,
and foster
yes.
until they're able to find a forever family, or how does that work? As far as if you're taking in a newborn, are they there until they're adopted, or is that one of the instances where they're trying to get them placed back with their birth parents, or how does that look?
It is both. When we get infants, oftentimes we do work with the birth parents to try and get them back into the home. They will have a plan to try and get them back on the right track to bring their children back into their homes. However, children are then mandated by the court as eligible for adoption, and we also walk our foster parents through that process as well. We are there to support them and to have the children be there forever if they choose that path.
They could? You can do foster through... Does Pathway do foster to adopt?
They do. We do. So.
Wow. Didn't know that. I love this. I always learn something. Some amazing people, though, that are willing to get up every 2 hours with a newborn, aren't they?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's very cool. Lyndon, let's talk to you before we take our break, too. The Church Sports and Recreation Ministries, how and when did that get started?
Well, we're kicking off our 25th year,
Wow.
so April of 2018 we'll turn 25. And it's been a fun journey. The mission of CSRM, which is the acronym for Church Sports Recreation Ministries, is to empower local churches throughout the world to change lives through sports ministries. And we're so happy to partner with Kiwanis to make, we're going to take that contribution and make both a local and a global impact. So we're doing sports camps right here in Canton. One of the ways CSRM works is to connect groups. And that's a great opportunity for us to connect my home church, which is Canton First Friends Church, with a downtown ministry called Hope Outreach Ministry. And they're going to start a new basketball camp this summer. And so CSRM is connecting those two groups together, and we're helping providing the funding that we're getting through Kiwanis to kick that off, get that organized. A great opportunity for inner city Canton.
That is one of those, it seems like such a no-brainer. You think, oh my goodness, why didn't this happen sooner? You know, it's one of those things when you think of the church being able to be a place to attract young people through sports. I mean, who doesn't like playing something, especially when you're a young person, you know, when there's no pressure there, they're just playing, and they're able to use that as ministry to get people connected and then maybe find out a little bit more what the gospel's about, and it opens the doors to so many more young people. Yes,
it does. And if you look at the research, Breakpoint, which is the Chuck Colson commentary series, they did some research and they found out that sports and recreation ministry is the number one way. If people are hesitant to go to church, they're more likely to go to some sports or recreation program that the church is putting on. So it is a way to outreach. And then you start at the very beginning at presenting the gospel. The very first thing you talk about is, hey, you have to respect the officials of the game. You have to respect your opponent. You have to respect yourself and conduct yourself. And why is that? Because we're all made in the image of God. And if someone's created in the image of God, they deserve respect. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where we start.
There's so much with sports as far as learning how to operate on a team. It's almost like a little microcosm of life, isn't it? When you're on a team and working together and doing some kind of sport, whatever that sport may be. And do you see that opening up doors to be able to say, you know, this is a lot like basketball. This is a lot like football or baseball. Do you find yourselves doing that?
Yes. Lots of analogies to life through sports all over the place. And again, we empower that local church to use whatever analogy or sport that makes sense in that culture to make an impact in their community.
Well, we are certainly happy and excited to be talking to you today. We want to find out a lot more about what's happening. And we, again, are speaking with Jordan Maddox from Belden Village Kiwanis, Liz Fatch from Pathway Caring for Children, and Lyndon Thomas from CSRM. Going to take a short break. We'll be back after these words. You're listening to Our Community.